Welcome to Premium Times Podcast, where we dive deep into everyday issues that concerns you as the viewer. Today we'll be talking about a very important issue. We'll be talking about Nigeria. Nigeria don't happen to you before. What does that mean when you hear it? When you hear people say Nigeria happened to me or Nigeria happened to someone, what does it mean? So today we are going to be dissecting that particular issue with a studio guest, Willie Obase Ota. So welcome, Willie. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much for having me. This one really caught me.
How are you doing? Tell me first.
I wasn't expecting that, but this is really good. I mean, the topic. I mean, that's it really caught me. But yeah, I'm doing well. I would say that I'm privileged because although Nigeria has happened to me, but I'm surviving. I'm alive. God is keeping me, so so it's good.
So please tell me, Willie, tell us, what does it mean when you hear people say, or when you hear someone say, Nigeria happened to him, or Nigeria happened to her, or Nigeria happened to them? What does it mean?
Oh wow. As long as you're a Nigerian, it's never means well. It never means any good thing for you to hear that Nigeria has happened either to you or to somebody else. You know, there are several things that can happen to someone and you can equate them with something good. But if in the context you are told that, oh, Nigeria happened to so person, or Nigeria has happened to you, it has never been used in a good context. It is always that something bad has happened to you because the system of, governance or the structure or whatever we have in place in Nigeria that should help the citizenry enjoy their lives has worked against you. So it is always put in that context. Oh, Nigeria has happened to you, and it is always because something bad has happened to you.
Okay, so let's picture it here now.
Right.
Give me a scenario. What does it mean to a non-Nigerian watching this podcast right now? What does it mean?
Okay.
Like, can you picture a scenario where Nigeria happened?
Okay. So Nigeria happened to me when I spent over 2 years out of school because of strikes.
Oh, I get it.
There were negotiations back and forth between the federal government and, ASU and all of that. But I had to stay at home for years on end. And for a course that I should have spent 5 years, I spent 7 years plus. Right.
Wow.
Nigeria happened to me there. Nigeria has happened to me where I had friends who had medical emergencies and the hospitals were either on strike or the doctors and nurses were nonchalant. And they knew that they can get away with it because there's no system put in place that would check them properly, unlike other civilized countries. Nigeria has happened to me where food prices can skyrocket because fuel prices are rising, transportation is increasing, insecurity is on, it's beyond saying.
So sorry, permit me to continue.
Yeah, sure.
So are you trying to say that Nigeria happening to someone means when the system that is supposed to work in favor or in protection of a citizen fails?
Absolutely, and it's not rocket science. I mean, it's quite simple. Where we look at our neighboring countries or other countries around us, and other systems in the world, and we find that these things are actually doable. They are things that people have tried, tested, and have seen it work. But in Nigeria, and the funny thing for me is actually the fact that we are one of the most widely traveled people on earth.
So wait, but coming to the part of Nigeria happening to people,
Yeah.
what what do you think is the issue? What do you think is the problem?
So it's just a leadership and structural problem that we have. So
Can you like break it down?
yeah.
Leadership issues. What's
So
what's
in,
what's
in
what's actually the issue? Why should systems fail?
that so it's a very funny thing in as much as it sounds complex, but it is not, because I've had conversations with people and they've tried to explain away why it is okay that Nigeria can fail you, because Nigeria happening to you is Nigeria failing you. In fact, it has become some sort of prayer these days where you hear some people actually say, pray that Nigeria will not happen to you. So it's obvious that it's a leadership problem. It's a structural problem as well, and it's also a people's problem, because people are the ones that lead, and they are the ones that are supposed to set the leadership. So where leaders who are people don't set structures in place and actually have the political will to do what is needed for their citizenry, then it becomes a serious issue.
If I understand you very well, you're trying to say that the problem we are having today about Nigeria happening to Nigerians
Yeah.
emanates from a place of failure of government over time,
And the people.
okay, and the people
Yeah,
as well.
because the government is the people, it's for the people, and it's by the people. So and the people who become government are part of the people. So some, and in somewhat, I mean, they have experienced these things before they became government. So how they get in there and not change it is an entirely different story.
Okay, so over time, do
Yeah.
you think governments over time have a kind of set out clearly aligned agendas to like tackle the issue of Nigeria happening to Nigerians over and over again?
Well, they try, but that's where I was driving towards. Government is bad. Government is bad. On a rainy day in Nigeria, I've experienced it before. Government did not increase fuel price, but the taxi drivers and the bus drivers increased their fares because people were desperate to get home as it was raining. That was not government.
Okay.
The officials in different offices who would rather not do their job but expect that you should pay them first if they must to do the job. It's not government. And this happens in every sector. It's not just the government sector, even in the private sector, right? Um, you know, the school teacher who is so lazy that they are not reinventing themselves and relearning so that they can teach, kids in school properly. It's not the government's fault. So when I say that we have a people's problem and a structural problem, now the people, because we are the people that are the problem first of all. Then the people who are the problem now go on to become leaders, and these leaders are supposed to set the pace. They are supposed to set the structure and all that. I don't think you should expect so much.
We've been talking about Nigeria happening to people. Have Nigeria ever happened to you before? If so, what was your reaction, or what was the circumstance surrounding Nigeria happening to you? Let us know in the comment section. So back to the discussion of the day. Willie,
Yep.
so tell us, what kind of conversations do you think we need to be having from now to be able to like stop the trend of Nigeria happening to people? What kind of conversations do you think do we need to be having at the level of citizens and at the level of leadership?
Well, first of all, I think at the level of citizens, we have to begin with a total reorientation of what Nigeria means to us. Nigeria, I think, means a lot of different things to different people. There are certain countries in the world that you travel to, and when you listen to those people speak about their country, whether they are faking it or not, they are so passionate about their country. But walk on the street in Nigeria, I mean, 8 out of 10 people or persons would berate Nigeria for you. They will tell you difficult experiences they've had and all of those kinds of things. Only 3 will say, okay, not berating, but they will just say we are hopeful that Nigeria will be better. So the reorientation, first of all, I know it's difficult. Some people would say, oh no, why won't the government first change their ways? Then we, the people, will change our ways. But the government comes from us. We are the people that become the government.
Yeah.
On the part of government, I think we need to begin to have people who have stronger political will to see things through. If something is good, and intelligent people too, if something is good, let's see it through. Don't stop something or a project when you get into governance or government just because it's not your party, he's not your friend, you don't like the person, so you want to take on another project.
So you're talking about continuity.
Continuity, where the things are working well, where things are good. Let's have that semblance of continuity. And let's also have more intelligent and committed people in government.
So we need leaders who would think about continuity in areas where government is performing well.
Yeah.
And we also need intelligent
leaders,
thoughtful people who would factor in the people in their thinking process in governance.
Right, and also people who are not there because of how juicy the occupation of governance is. So people who are there because they want to make a difference.
Patriotism. So it is your belief that when we have these 3 or 4 elements come together in government, and we also have the loyalty from the citizens.
And we have the not loyalty, I would rather say the retrospection and the change of attitude towards what Nigeria should be
on the part of the followers.
The citizens.
Okay.
Then I think we'll do a lot better.
The main conversation here is the fact that having it in mind that people are people and people are not always going to obey the law. So having a system that you can trust and rely on to protect you as a law-abiding person so that someone's misdemeanor does not affect your own law-abiding lifestyle. So what happens?
No. What happens where because we don't have the absence of the laws to protect. We have all of that. It's the implementation that sometimes is the problem. And most times, like, that's why I keep reiterating, it is Nigerians that are making Nigeria happen to you.
I
It's
understand.
not so it's not some pseudo thing. It's not some aliens that are coming in to make Nigeria happen to you. So Nigerians, like I said from the beginning, if you remember, Nigerians, we the people, the human beings, are the ones that need the reorientation, because we are the ones that still become the leaders who will need to put the structures in place. So it is bad from the people to the leaders to the structures that
Okay.
are supposed to be put in
So,
place. Now, the structures sometimes might be in place, but if the people who are supposed to implement these structures are not as patriotic as they should be and doing their job up to par with their job, they would make Nigeria happen to you, even if it is in the private sector or the public sector. So it can happen.
so the problem is not about the structure being weak itself. It's about the people having a weak character. People who get to manage those structures.
Well, I think I think it takes a strong character sometimes to do bad too. So so it's not a weak character. It's the fact that the orientation for you to do right is probably
It's
not
lacking.
there. Yeah. So and most times where crime is done is because you think you can get away with it, or you can get away with it. So if some of these people think that, oh yeah, I can do this, whether I'm in the private sector or I'm in the public sector, and I will get away with it, they'll go on ahead and do the crime. And besides, I mean, they feel like Nigeria, the pseudo Nigeria, which unfortunately for them, they don't understand, is still all of us. But the pseudo Nigeria in their head is not treating them fairly. So they should take advantage of you.
Okay. Let me conclude with this final question. Do you do you have a feeling? Do you think the present Nigerian system we have, the Nigerian government per se, is capable of stopping Nigeria from happening to Nigerians?
That's a difficult question to answer. Uh, I don't know how to answer that. I can only say I'm just hopeful. That's the truth. I'm really hopeful that they would, some of the policies that they are putting in place um, would help alleviate what the feelings of Nigerians have had for a long time, and Nigeria happening to you as a Nigerian would be.
Okay. Thank you very much, Willie. It's a pleasure having you speak with us. It's always a pleasure. And to our viewers, we've come to the end of this program, and we hope you enjoyed listening to us and watching us as well. Today, we had a long discussion about Nigeria and what it means for Nigeria to happen to someone. Nigeria has happened to virtually every Nigerian, including myself. So how has Nigeria happened to you? Let us know in the comment section. Thank you.